Hello, Barry Ripson here with our first episode of Grocery Guys. I was going to have party balloons and stringers and party hats because it's our first episode, maybe a cake, but we don't have a budget. So I'm here with Timothy Inklebarger. I'm always pronouncing his name wrong. I always call him Timothy, Tim. I don't know, Tim, what do you prefer?
I prefer Timmy Tim, with them. That's the most common. No, Tim. I when I started my career in journalism, I don't know why I just went with Timothy, and so that's always been my byline. So I've done that for a couple of decades now. So, but most people call me Tim.
So here's what Grocery Guys is. It's two guys talking grocery in 10 minutes or less. Tim and I both cover grocery for supermarket news. This has been a huge buildup in the office, this podcast. To the point, Tim, where we're already failing right now because we're on our third take. And I don't have a microphone stand. I can't find it. I was scrambling for it this morning. Can't find it. So we're already in the fail level. So I don't know. You're going to have to pull us out of this rut, Tim. I'm going to rely on you.
I don't know if I can do it. We're pretty deep in the ditch here. But we'll see what we can. We've got the alliteration Grocery Guys. Lucky for us, we're both guys, so we were able to do the podcast. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. But to kick it off, we're going to talk about non-grocery items, right?
First couple minutes, we're going to talk about things. It could be grocery, it could be not, just kind of funny stories. And then we'll get into the heart of the matter, which is we'll have a topic every week and we'll talk about it. And at the end, we're going to do a segment called Paper or Plastic, where we're just going to sum up our thoughts, basically, on paper, and this is my thoughts. On plastic, this is my thoughts. Even though plastic is banned in some states, we're going to do it anyways because we're rebels, Tim.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We are.
We wanted this show to be called Grocery Boys, spelled B-O-I-Z, I believe, but that was kind of turned down. I mean, I can turn my head around here, and we can really get into the boys.
A lot of my ideas get turned down, and I'm okay with that because, I'm just trying to make it through life.
Now, Tim, so we had a staff meeting yesterday, and we were talking about ideas to move forward on. And Tim is a master AI guy, and he's really embraced it, and I applaud him for that. And we were getting so excited about Tim's AI ideas, and I'm just kind of sitting there in the corner going, yeah, it's great. I got nothing to contribute to AI because I don't really know it. So, yeah, I mean, come on.
It's weird stuff. It's weird stuff out there, like some of the stuff that you can do with AI. And the industry is going nuts about it right now. I mean, not to go off topic here or anything, but that's, you go to these conferences like you and I both do, and it's AI all day, every day. That's what they're talking about. Like all these other tech, like retail media networks, are kind of taking a little bit of a backseat to AI right now, although, they're integrating AI into those technologies as well. So, we're kind of trying to do the same thing to a degree at Supermarket News.
A lot of exciting stuff. But let's talk vending machines. Let's get away from AI. Let's talk about that old cigarette vending machines back in our day when we can just buy a pack of cigarettes at the age of 8 years old. And
right, you would
never would tell us.
And play a game of pool and get the cigarettes.
The pool halls, yeah. And smoke. And it was still alive. So, vending machines, they're all over the place, especially because I've been traveling lately. So they're in the airports. I went to Vegas. They're all over the casinos. They got vending machines for everything. They have vending machines for makeup, Legos. I saw one from Nuts on Clark. And for those who are not familiar with the Chicago area, Nuts on Clark is a popcorn place. It's been around forever. And there's a vending machine there. And you can buy a box of Nuts on Clark. And I guess my question there, Tim, is, are they changing that thing out every day? And what if my popcorn is not satisfactory? What do? Do I talk to the vending machine about it?
Right. I mean, that it's a risk. You're living a risky life on the edge if you buy your popcorn out of a vending machine. And it suddenly occurred to me, why is it called Nuts on Clark? It should be called Popcorn on Clark.
You're right. Do they even sell nuts there? I guess they kind of do.
Nuts on Clark?
It's popcorn. That's their main thing.
Right.
But anyways, do do you see someone like in the grocery sector getting into vending machines? Like I'm talking, it has to be like Amazon. The only person I can think or company I can think would be Amazon Fresh, where they offer a vending machine of fresh products. Could you see that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's it's one of the advantages, especially of these really large retailers like the Walmarts of the world and the Costco's of the world. They got a lot of real estate, and so they have space for that kind of thing. And in a way, you kind of already see it, right? Like if you go to a grocery store like a Mariano's or a Jewel Osco, which are the Kroger and Albertsons of Chicago. You'll see those Coinstar machines at the front, right? Like you dump your coins in and it pays you out or whatever. Like stuff like that already exists, but the proliferation of these vending machines is something that is really ramping up, I think, because like you said, I haven't seen them at airports. I saw one in a movie theater over the weekend. I went to see The Monkey, which is a comedy horror movie.
Yeah.
And, there was one for Skittles. You just go out and skip the line as you're coming in the movie, and just go to the vending machine. So I think that companies probably like this because they don't have to pay anybody to operate.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's set to a degree.
Have you ever seen Cake Boss?
I have seen Cake Boss. Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy whatever his last name is. They're from New Jersey. I saw a vending machine for his rainbow cake at a casino in Vegas. Do you think that piece is going to be fresh for me?
It seems a little dodgy, but
Yeah.
there was a company, you probably remember this. It just suddenly occurred to me that, and I think this actually is happening in a couple of places. I know there were a few in Oklahoma that were selling gun ammo. Remember that?
Oh my God.
Remember the gun ammo thing? You can go buy bullets at the grocery store.
Yeah. I remember we ran that story. I'm thinking 5 things, right?
Yeah, I think it was a fight.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? Like I mean, there are limits to one-stop shopping, right? Like maybe you should go to a different store to get bullets. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, do people just carry their shotguns around and, oh, shoot, I need bullets for this thing. So thank God there's a vending machine for it.
Right. If it's like, oh God, I left my bullets at home again. I'll just get them at the store. Like what?
That's crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
We are going to go to the meat of the matter. We'll call it the meat counter. This is what we want to talk about, and we're going to go over our 10 minutes. But like I said, we're already a colossal failure anyway, so we might as well go nosedive down. So, big shakeup with Kroger and Albertsons regarding their leadership, more so on the Kroger side. That is very interesting. So, Tim covers Kroger and Albertsons, and I was going to have him take the lead here. He's the superstar of the staff, so he gets to cover the really great beats. So,
hey, you covered Walmart though.
We're always trying to get Costco from me. He's like, "Can I get Costco?" He has to hold it in there, knowing I'm never going to give it up, but he does it anyways. But
I would love it. And as a matter of fact, even though nothing justifies this move, but I joined Costco over the weekend because it's something I've been thinking about doing forever and ever and ever. And I was a member of Costco probably about 10 years ago, and I was moving around and stuff. So I ended up dropping out of Costco for a bit. But I just joined back up just because, the prices of things are getting so high. Yeah. And with the tariffs happening now as well and going through, it's like I'm ready to stock up I'm turning into a prepper here. To make sure I have everything that I need, and that's one of the things Costco is good for. But yeah, Kroger Albertsons, big news a couple of days ago, and I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I was expecting that, and then that news being that Rodney McMullen, the CEO of Kroger, was ousted, and then Vivek Sankaran, the CEO of Albertsons, announced his retirement coming up in several months. So that one was a little bit less tumultuous, at least on its face. With Kroger and McMullen, Kroger came out and basically said, we investigated this guy for ethics violations of our own internal ethics policy, but it doesn't have anything to do with the company. And we're not going to tell you what it was about. Yeah. So it's a big mystery, and I think it just got a lot of people's imaginations going here of what could it be? You know, like it appears that it wasn't any kind of insider trading or any kind of theft or anything. The idea is that it has nothing to do with the company or any of the associates they specify, but it's an ethics violation. So what could it be, right? So that happened in the morning, and then maybe 5 or 6 hours later, Albertsons announces that Vivek Sankaran is going to be stepping down in a couple of months to be replaced by Susan Morris, who kind of made headlines probably about 6, 7, 8 months ago, something like that, when Albertsons said, hey, we're going to move Susan Morris over to C&S Wholesale Grocers. C&S, as you recall, probably was the company that was going to buy nearly 600 stores from Kroger and Albertsons had their merger, their $25 billion merger gone through, which it didn't. It was rejected by 2 courts last year. And one of the ways that they were going to appease federal regulators was to say, this top executive from Albertsons, Susan Morris, is going to go over and help C&S Wholesale Grocers get set up because, she's going to be the CEO of retail at C&S. So, that's kind of when she came on my radar a little bit more as a significant player in all of this. And it looks like now, since the deal did fail, she's going to be CEO instead. So big news. All of this has a lot of people talking about, the future of both of these companies and what it all means. And will we ever find out what Rodney McMullen did, I think that they probably at Kroger were looking for an excuse because this ale deal. Yeah, no.
Wow. They would go. You think they would go to that level?
They hired an outside counsel to investigate it, and that makes me that's a curious thing to me that they would do that. And yes, absolutely. I think it's more. I think that they would use any tool in the toolbox that they have at this point. Yeah, because he's cost the company hundreds of millions of dollars already, billions of dollars already in legal costs. And now Kroger is being sued by Albertsons, for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes.
There was a clause in the contract for the merger when Kroger and Albertsons decided to try to do this acquisition, Kroger buying Albertsons, that is, that if the deal failed for any reason, that Kroger would be on the hook to Albertsons for $600 million. And now Albertsons is suing Kroger, and I believe that they're aiming for a lot more than that. Because they say they screwed up the deal. And a big part of their argument hangs on the notion of the divestiture company, C&S Wholesale Grocers, where Susan Morris was headed as the CEO of retail to, appease these federal regulators. I think that Albertsons' main argument is that C&S, which only ran at the time like a couple of dozen grocery stores and a few pharmacies, like they were not like a big giant company. So the idea that they would go up and compete against Kroger and Albertsons combined, which are the 2 largest pure play grocery chains in the country, pure play meaning that they don't sell merchandise like Walmart and Target, and they're not warehouse, grocers like Costco or whatever. They're just like traditional old school grocery stores, right? The idea that C&S would be able to compete against them was something that judges, the courts, the federal regulators, a lot of people, attorneys general, were saying, no way. There's no way that you can't just find a competitor. Like people have described it. Brenton Ladd, one of the guys that I talk to from time to time about these stories, he's a consultant, like a grocery industry consultant. Brenton Ladd, had this floated this idea. So this isn't my idea. I'm just giving him credit. The notion that Kroger, rather than divesting these 579 stores to a real competitor like Aldi or Amazon or, whoever, take your pick, Walmart, that he invented a competitor by, this idea that we're going to sell nearly 600 stores to a company that is more of a wholesale company that, they're a provider of groceries, essentially. So I believe that Albertsons is now coming and sort of, hanging its hat on the idea that like that was a bad strategy and you guys screwed this up. So now you owe us a ton of money. I mean, the powers that be are not happy with either one of these grocery chain leaders. And I think that's why they were both headed to the door,
So paper or plastic, this is our paper or plastic segment here. We've gone over, but we've had the intro. We have to talk about what the show is. And this is a very big topic anyway, so that's fine. So
that's right.
Paper or plastic, I'm going to throw this question out. What, if you can sum it up in about 1 minute, where does Albertsons and Kroger go from here?
That's a good question. And first of all, I take my own bags because I care about the environment, Bill. I don't do paper or
As you should, yes.
Yeah, that's what I try to do, at least.
I agree.
That's what I tell people when I'm virtue signaling. I would say, there's some speculation and coming back to this guy Britton, he's written a lot about this, and it's suggesting that and apparently because Albertsons is owned by Cerberus Capital Management, which is a alternative investment firm that specializes in private equity. So they're essentially a private equity firm, and so they're going to want to sell this thing. They're if not Kroger, then somebody else. And apparently, and this is before my time, but about 3-4 years ago, I believe, Albertsons was negotiating with Ahold Delhaize, which is a company that you cover, and you know a lot more about them. There's this idea that maybe they'll go back to the table. Certainly, they're going to be under whoever they try to partner with or try to merge with after this, and I believe that they will. I think Cerberus wants to get rid of this company. The regulatory environment is going to be a lot more favorable for them for obvious reasons. The Trump administration, the FTC, they got rid of Lena Khan, who was the head of the FTC, who sued Kroger and Albertsons. So presumably the regulatory hurdles are going to be much lower if non-existent. So it could be Ahold, it could be another company, we'll see. It's tough because it's a big company. As far as Kroger, I think that they're just going to kind of keep on keeping on. They're still trying to get a hold on the automated warehouse situation that they have with Ocado. They were supposed to open like 20 of these distribution warehouses, and I don't even think they've done half of them. And it's been over 5 years, I believe, since they first cut that deal. And it remains to be seen what happens with Kroger. But I think they're going to be out of the M&A business here for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I definitely think that Kroger is going to keep on keeping on, as Joe Dirt would say. I think Albertsons does need a merging partner. Acquisition partner, I think, to move forward. And I was at a conference, the National Grocery Association annual meeting, and I went in on a session about the Trump administration. I guess the people that are in charge of the FTC right now are really anti-acquisition mergers. But I do agree we're talking about a Trump administration. So that could just be, makeup there for all I know. Put a lipstick on a pig kind of thing. So anyways, yeah. So that's my take. Tim, it's official. We're done with our first episode. Should we smoke a cigarette or something? Or a cigar?
Yeah. No, I think that would be proper and prudent.
I think you guys are stuck with us as long as they want this podcast to go on. So we're going to be hitting you every week, trying to keep it within, I guess maybe I think we might have to expand our program time to maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I don't know. It's what the people want, Tim. So maybe they want more of our faces.
Maybe the next one we'll broadcast from the pool hall, and we'll be get the cigarettes out of the cigarette machine, like it's now already 1982 or something.
Get a pack of Salem's and be on our way. So writers are fake. I'm Barry Wilson, and he's Timothy Inklebarger, and we're grocery guys. So have a great week, everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot.